Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to another edition of BNA Sports Talk. And today I want to talk about Ryan Tannehill, and he lost against the Chiefs. Not he, but the entire team lost against the Chiefs. He was 21 for 31 for 209 yards, a couple touchdowns, and he was Ryan Tannehill. He fell back to who he was, and he had a historically anomaly season. And in this video, I want to talk about what the Titans should do at the quarterback position and where I think Ryan Tannehill will end up. So let's just begin. And so first of all, the Titans quarterback position it's pretty frank. They don't have any quarterbacks now. They signed Ryan Tannehill for like a 1 year, $2 million option. The Miami Dolphins were paying like $18 million of his salary. It was they got a lot of value. You know how much money they made and, jersey sales this year because their team was making it. Derrick Henry, a lot of media publicity. And I think they should walk from Ryan Tannehill. Now, here's why. So, it was a historically anomaly season. It was historically anomalistic, whatever. We saw that with a couple years ago with, what was his name, Case Keenum. And now, what do you think of him? You think he's a journeyman quarterback. We saw that with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Do you want Ryan Fitzpatrick leading your team? Do you want, I like Mitch Trubisky, but he's like a guy who I root for. But do you want a guy like that running your franchise? You don't have any real ties to this guy. The Bears have ties to Mitch Trubisky because they drafted him second overall. So I understand why the Bears are doing that. Now a desperate team is going to try to sign Ryan Tannehill because they saw what he did, and he is going to disappoint. We've seen this over and over before. I don't think they should franchise tag him. I don't want to pay him $27 million a year. I'd sign Derrick Henry to a $5 million deal, and then after that contract, he's pretty much going to be done. Derrick Henry's been running pretty much his entire life. He's going to have a lot of hits. So you sign Derrick Henry to a contract, and that's where you spend your money. In the draft, you have a late pick. You fix your secondary. We'll discuss more about, what certain teams I think should do and, more about, like, a talent evaluation of each roster. And I think Titans are in a good spot here, but they 9-7, 9-7, 9-7, 9-7. They have to get to that next step. Now, there's a couple of free agents that I think they can target. Obviously, in the draft, they're not going to be able to get a huge target. Tua's still probably going to go top 5. And if he ends up not going top 5, there's a huge problem with his hip. It's not because there's anything not new that we're going to learn. If he's not going top 5, there's a severe problem with his hip, and a lot of teams are going to be staying away from him. And so in the draft, I don't think Justin Herbert is going to fall to them. Justin Herbert's going to get more and more props. He's going to be a top 10 pick. Jake Fromm, I wouldn't sell for him. Julian Love is a project. You want a guy who, you have a Super Bowl winning roster and you proved it. You're going to need to make a pretty big splash on a quarterback. Now, there's a couple of veterans. I don't think Drew Brees to Tennessee is sexy at all, but I think it would be a pretty good fit, even though you do play outdoors on turf. You have a great roster, great, offensive line. That's been getting worse and worse every single year, but they really did show up. You have Mike Vrabel, but to be honest, Drew Brees wouldn't be that great of a fit. You also have Tom Brady, who I could see playing in Tennessee. I could see him in a Tennessee uniform, especially with Mike Vrabel and, a new fresh air, a team that he can fight for. And Tennessee is a pretty warm climate. It is in the middle of nowhere. Like, if he has to convince his wife Giselle to go to Tennessee for a year or whatever, that's not going to be an easy conversation for him. Let's just say that. And so you have some other free agent quarterbacks that could potentially be looking for spots. Eli Manning, he probably wouldn't go to Tennessee. I don't really see that. I think he's like, I'll just retire. Or he can maybe go to Tennessee and be like, I'll show you how to do your Super Bowl run. Let's go. Brandon Jacobs is Derrick Henry, and we're gonna roll out the team. That'd be interesting, though. That's the most intriguing one to me. But I'm a Giants fan, so what do I know? Phillip Rivers, he moved down to Florida. Tennessee is a 7-8 hour car drive from Florida, but it's in the same general area. He can be away from his kids and let his wife do all the child raising. But honestly, I think Phillip Rivers is gonna be maybe the Buccaneers, but we'll discuss that in a different video. Let's see, some other possible free agent quarterbacks. We know all of them. We know Teddy Bridgewater, who would actually be a pretty good fit in Tennessee. I think this is probably one of the more likely options. It's not a huge splash. He's not that much of a difference over Ryan Tannehill, but he's going to command way less money, in my opinion. And you have a pretty fair climate. You play two teams that are in domes. And, I think Mike Vrabel is they have an offensive coordinator who knows how to deal with quarterbacks who are limited, like Ryan Tannehill. And you can get basically just a fresh face in there. Derrick Henry, I think, will respect Teddy Bridgewater. And you could, Teddy Bridgewater isn't a Baker Mayfield. He isn't a showman guy. And he can jump right in, learn the playbook. He's a pretty smart guy. So the Titans should definitely look at Teddy Bridgewater as well. Andy Dalton has been a name that the Patriots are looking at. Honestly, he is just Ryan Tannehill light at this point. Ryan Tannehill has way better arm strength. I think Andy Dalton has some learned ability in the playoffs, but Andy Dalton has lost in the playoffs. I don't think he has a single playoff win in his career, so I'm not going to do that. And there are a bunch of small tier guys like Jacoby Brissett potentially you can try to bring in, but he's under contract. And yeah, so the Titans definitely, they're in a tough position here. I don't think they can roll into next season with Ryan Tannehill and look at all the Chiefs people, look at all their fans and say, we're going to win again. No, you have Houston now, who has Deshaun Watson. You have the Colts now that are struggling a little bit. There's a chance for you to assert your dominance in this division. There's a chance for you to win the division next year. The Houston Texans have won the past 2 years. You can potentially make a run here. You could potentially do something special here. And you have the roster, you have the talent, and you got to spend on a quarterback. And I don't think Ryan Tannehill is the guy. I think he's limited. I think we saw his ceiling this year. And that was the AFC Championship. It's impressive. But that was on the backs of Derrick Henry doing some historical stuff with running a lot. There's something to be said about familiarity. But I think Tennessee Titans would be making a mistake about signing Ryan Tannehill. As far as where he would go, I think Ryan Tannehill could be a journeyman quarterback like Ryan Fitzpatrick. He may end up on a team like the Buccaneers fighting against Jameis Winston and doing that whole scenario again. And all of a sudden, if he impresses, he goes 9-7. And the Buccaneers eke into a wild card spot. You don't even have to win playoff games, but it's just like, oh, Ryan Tannehill can do it. It wasn't just an anomaly. I think Ryan Tannehill has to prove it to me. And I think he has to prove it to a lot of teams too. Ryan Tannehill could potentially be successful on a team like the Chargers, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't think that he'll be able to do it. I really don't. And I think that maybe next year you're going to see some flashes. You're like, oh, he can still do it. But honestly, I think this year is just perfect scenario, perfect everything, perfect conditions, and 115 passer rating. You really think he's going to do that for the next couple of years? No, he's not. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think about the topics I discussed. Where's Ryan Tannehill going to go? What should the Titans do at quarterback? Again, there's probably a quarterback that I missed discussing in this video. And you're probably screaming at your computers, but definitely do let me know if there's an obvious guy, some guy that you're like, yes, like Andrew Luck or something. I don't know. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy this video, and see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.